Alert for PET. Alert for CNEY. Alert for CNEY. Alert for CNEY.
HZO, MPX.
Alert for CNEY. Alert for CNEY.
Hello, good morning. All right, so LGCB. Not sure about this. I don't love when they open really high and have a big sort of red candle to start the day. That just doesn't feel great. So I don't think that I'm going to be interested in it. All right, so it's about 10 to 7. And as I'm sitting down right now, I don't see anything I'm really crazy about. Our leading gapper's up 53%, which is, not insignificant gap, but compared to some of the moves we've seen recently, it's not that big. Um, so that has me thinking, maybe I should be a little more cautious. You know, kind of here as we're getting settled in. Um, hmm. Hey, Patrick. Good morning. Yeah, I'm thinking that the best bet is going to be sort of similar to the last couple days, which is to wait for something that has breaking news and not to try to jump on something that I'm really like has already made a sort of big move relatively, but is I just don't think this is positioned well for a good trade for me. So I'm going to be patient. That's the name of the game. It's been being patient. It's been paying me well this week. A reminder for those of you guys who are new. As always, I really encourage you to practice trading these stocks in a simulator before you put real money on the line. You're going to see I trade quickly. I'm actively buying and selling. When we've got something moving, I'm in and out very fast. And that's part of a momentum trading strategy. But I don't want you to try to blindly follow me. I want you to take it slow, practice in the simulator, prove that you can be profitable before jumping in real money. All right? I just think it's a good way to approach this. So CADL popping up a little bit, but 35 million share float, and it is easy to borrow at light speed. MLGO, I would say, could be on my no trade list. At this point, I just don't like it and I don't trust it. So I'm certainly not trading it in this area. Good morning. You have so to switch the name, you'd have to go email support. So watching top of the hour to see if we get any fresh headlines, any fresh news headlines. That could be good.
AEVA. NUWE.
NOS.
FNWB.
QNTM.
UEIC.
Order filled.
CLST.
Alert for LGCB.
Order filled.
KTTAANDMORE.
Order filled.
I didn't really trust that. That's why I only went in with 200 shares. And that's why I sold my whole position early. Otherwise, profit target would have been 2.81, but feel about this bounce either.
LOAN. JYNT, QUIK.
Okay, so just staying tight here. Oh, I just like those small trucks. I mean, that's really it. I just think they're kind of neat. AVTE. Let's see what the headline is. This is a weird chart. I'm not seeing a fresh headline either, so right now I'm just waiting. The float's 13 million shares, which is a little higher. It almost looks like a reverse split on the chart.
Alert for AVTE.
So I think, you know, my due diligence on this was floats higher. I didn't even pull, you know, I just like from just looking at the scanner, I was like, floats higher. And then is there any news? I don't see any news. So then the chart, the stuff, you know, it just didn't look right. So avoided what would have been a loss almost certainly if I had traded that. AREB, I don't know at this point because it's so much on the backside of the move. Had this big move up to 20, and now everything is sort of like the backside of that. I don't think this is going to be a safe one. I'd prefer something that's fresh.
PRZO.
Alert for PET. Alert for BON. Alert for PET.
So at this point, waiting to
Alert
see
for
if we get any
CEP.
news at the bottom of the hour.
Alert for BON.
So we use a market data vendor, and then they have an API that we connect with. So the news comes from a lot of different feeds, and then they connect it, and then we pull it into our platform. So that's why you'll see, different news sources under the news tab. The red T means the stock is on the threshold list, which means you cannot short it.
Alert for BON.
Autofilled. Autofilled. Autofilled.
Yeah, I don't trust that anymore. Need a 5-minute pullback and then a new push higher.
So about 5 minutes to the bottom of the hour.
Alert for AREB.
SRM.
Okay, if we get a clean break here,
KELYAANDMORE.
clean strong break, I'll trade it.
TCX.
So not seeing anything there at the bottom of the hour. Scanners are quiet. So that's fine. I'm going to keep being patient. Yesterday and the day before, and well, all week it's been 8 or 8:30 that we've had better headlines. So, just luck at the draw, but right now being patient.
BCTXANDMORE.
So BCTX, we can look at it. Looking to see what the headline is, and I'm not seeing one just yet.
They have a headline.
So let's see. We've got
They
a
do
high
have a
there.
headline.
So the 200 EMA is not too far away. So watching down here. Okay, so I'm watching this for some trades here. Let's see what this wants to do. Letting it pull back, giving it to give us a proper pullback pattern.
Order filled.
So on this one, we haven't gotten a proper pullback just yet. Nice, Nick. Congratulations.
Order filled.
Yeah, so tiny scalp there, but I'm actually in my taxable account. I gotta switch to my retirement account. That was not the trade that I was wanting. So waiting for a 1 minute pullback.
Order filled.
Damn.
Little starter there.
I sold
Just
too
looking to
early.
ride the momentum up through 11. 11.39. Little profit there.
Order filled.
So that's not as big of a pullback as I wanted. So just kind of jumped on in the middle of the move, taking the profit off the table. So that gives me a little cushion. It was the break of 10.
Alert for CEP.
And I chased it a little bit. I'm going to let it dip down.
Order
Our high
cancelled.
day is 11.39.
Order filled.
So this is risky. So as always, those of you guys who are new, make sure you're practicing in the simulator before you put real money on the line. We've got a lot of volatility here. So right now, just watching to see what it does on this first sort of dip. It's pulling back a little bit more here.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
So let's see how much
Order
it breaks
filled.
down.
Order filled.
So there's down to 60. High days 11.39.
Order filled.
200 EMA is 12.80.
Alert for CEP.
Little seller there. Let's see if it breaks 10.50 or holds.
Order cancelled. Order filled.
$10.73 on the bid. Added down here. There you go. Nice little
Order
scalp.
filled.
Now watching the squeeze up over 11. 11.75. So I added 11.70 right there. There's coming up towards 12. Nice trade. I bought right there because holding 1,600 shares now. Quick trade. I bought there because there was a little seller and it was like sort of held down and it was in this nice little wedge. So I was like, okay, here we go. So now watching this area.
Order filled.
So added right there for the breakthrough 12. Now looking for a squeeze over $12. There's 12.10. Holding 8,000 shares, 12.14 for a second. Holding 2,000 shares now. New order. Let's see, up here it's a little riskier. It's getting extended. So I'm going to just slow down on it for a second here. Got about...
Alert for CEP.
This 5-minute candle has about 90 seconds left on it. It's tough when they go this quickly because it's, you look in here and it's like, shoot. There was a momentary opportunity there at 6, and then it went right up to 9, and then to 10, and these are just really small pullbacks. So the question will be, as it dips down, where does it base out? Where does it hold?
Order partially
still
filled.
Open.
Order filled.
Alert for
Low of that
CEP.
candle there is 11.
Order filled.
So bought the dip down there. Now looking for the pop back up over 12. So watching first 1-minute candle to make a new high here. So over 65 is the next spot I'm watching. There's 70. So it broke there, but not cleanly. I'm taking profit for now. I'm going to let it dip down and watch for another dip. Bought the dip down there.
Order filled.
Added at 95. So a little dip trade here. Looking for the pop back up over 11. Adding at 99. So now watching the break back up over 11. Watching 11.15. Added there. Now looking for 11.25. Let's see if we pop up towards 11.50. So reclaiming 11 is kind of what I want to do here on this pullback.
1.74. See if we can get a little bit more on these last 10 shares.
Sold for a loss there at
Order filled.
1080.
I had to sell the rest for a loss there.
But added back 1017, 4,000 shares. We'll see if I can catch a nice bounce on one of these trades. Watching over 1035. So small win there. We'll see what the 5-minute chart does. So that news came out at 7:30, but it took a second for it to kind of hit the scanners.
Alert for BON.
So this could be a bear flag under VWAP. We have to see if it holds $10. So a little dip down there for me. 10.05, buying the dip off support. Now watching 10.45, 10.50. Bottoming tail candle's good. So there's 38. Now watching over 40. There's
Alert
49
for
and 50.
CEP.
Nice little trade here off the lows. I sized down to 2,000 shares. I'm still holding. So actively trading in and out of
Alert
this
for
range, buying and
BCTX.
selling.
I should have
So
put the dip
eventually
there.
got a dip.
Off a 10.
Flat on the rest now, watching back off of 10. Added back down
Alert
there,
for CEP.
93, 3,000 shares. Back out, 1020, small size. So trying to buy the deeper dips. I've timed a couple of them wrong, but a couple of them right. So we are below VWAP, which is not the ideal position. I feel like I kind of undercapitalized on the front of the move here, unfortunately. But I guess I can't really make up for that by overtrading the backside. That's probably not a good idea. And we came darn close to our 200 EMA.
Alert for
30
BCTX.
seconds until a new 5-minute candle starts.
Yeah, with a cash account, I don't jump. I wouldn't be jumping in and out. I would try to get one good entry and hold until I get an exit indicator.
BMV, ZENAANDMORE.
So nice pop there, back up to 1120. Well, green is good, right? So watching this area. Little dip there for me for the pop back up over 11.
Alert for
There's
BON.
1120. So let's see what this wants to do. Small loss, a couple $100. So a little bit of a shooting star candle there on the 1 minute, but we're back above VWAP. So, we'll see how long it can hold here.
I'm going to try to catch a lower band bounce here. 950-ish.
No, the entry at 1040. Well, so the entry was right here. Basically, we broke through this level right there, and that's where I jumped in for my first trade. Kind of in the middle of that candle. Got in a little high, but I was like, all right, it's pulling away, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And when there's a big dip, I look to try to see in my, like, is the selling slowing down, or are we approaching a psychological level where it's likely that buyers will come in, such as a $0.50 or a whole dollar?
Alert for BCTX.
So at 737, this was this sort of consolidation here, and I kept waiting to see if it was going to break down below like 10, I think it was 1050. I wanted to see if it was going to break, and it kept not breaking and coming sort of down to 1060 and then 1059, and then finally I said, you know what, it seems like it's holding. So I jumped in right there, and that was kind of at that moment a 1 minute micro pullback. So current high of this little pop is 1083. So we kind of have this battle going on above and below VWAP. So I got a little starter there because of the big buyer on the bid. So now watching the pop up over 11. So let's see if we break 11 here. There's 94. So watching over 95 to add. Another buyer added at 92. So adding kind of as we're approaching this level of 11. And I'm looking for the break through 11. So watching this dip and then the curl back up. 1085, 1090, added there. So still looking for the breakthrough 11. There's 98. So watching dips, holding 8,000 shares. So watching this dip down here off of 75. So added right there 74. Looking for the pop back through 85 and 90. Buyer down there at 60, 8,000 shares. So we'll see if this can pop back up over 79.80. First 1 minute candle to make a new high, and then a test of 11. So I'm taking the $500 loss on it. It's taking too long to break out. Current time 7:55. There's some
TNXP.
ascending support down in this
Alert
area,
for BCTX.
but it's just a little tricky. MACD is negative. So let's watch to see what we get at the top of the hour. On the one hand, BCTX already put in a pretty decent move, but it is pulling back a little bit right now. So if something else pops up, would traders sort of abandon BCTX and jump to that? Maybe. If nothing else pops up, then maybe
Order partially
BCTX
filled.
continues to
Order
be
filled.
tradable. So 30 seconds to the top of the hour.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
Yeah, that was the worst fill of all time. That was the worst fill of all time. I just sat there waiting for the market to
CODA.
fill.
Rare.
Xena, I've traded it before. It's thickly
COCP.
traded, not
Coot.
stock that I've done well on.
That was annoying.
MG.
That was real annoying. All good though.
ISPR.
CTGO.
It's all good. I'll fight back.
KAPA.
GPUS, the news was out earlier, so I'm not sure if that's really going to work.
RRGB.
Alert for BON.
The news didn't just come out.
KIRK.
ELAB.
FTCI.
LUCDANDMORE. Alert for BCTX.
So, quick trade on ELAB. It does have news. The question is, how high does it go? Watching over 55 and 65. So there's 80. There's 5.
Order filled.
There's 545. Getting a little profit up here now. Seller at 504. Just manage your risk
Order
on these because
partially
these are
filled.
fast moving.
Order
ELAB
filled.
news headline was in chat. Positive FDA response. So I'm going to let it pull back.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Added right there for a dip. Now looking for the pop back up over 525.
Order cancelled.
Added 515.
Order filled.
Seller at 516. Selling
SLNG.
down to 800 shares. Just a small scalp on that. Needs to break that seller up there at 516. Watching the dip. Still holding 800 shares.
Alert for
Watching to see how it
ELAB.
holds. Now, I'm going to sell and take a loss on the 800
Order
shares.
filled.
Letting it pull back. Bought the dip down there, 14. Looking for the pop back up to 24, 34. Little scalp there. Now watching to see what it does. Taking a little more profit. Nice average right now, 414. Higher volume is on the red candle on the 1 minute. So we've got a lot of volatility on this. Nice job, Ken. Taking a little more profit up here from the 414 dip entry. So I bought the dip there thinking support was around 4. So 14 cents of risk. It's kind of what I was thinking. So current high 544. it's going to take a pretty high volume green candle to recover the fact that this one's red. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get another trade on this. If I hadn't seen the news headline, I wouldn't have taken the trade. But because we had news on it, that's where I was like, all right, I'll give it a stab. Added back down there for a little dip trade for a pop back up over the $0.50. There's 55. Holding 3,000 shares. Taking a little loss, I think, on that, letting it dip down a little
Alert
bit
for
more.
ZENA.
Now, what did BCTX do right? When this news came out, BCTX started falling because attention shifted.
Alert for ELAB.
Added back there at 51, now looking for 65 and 70.
ONVOANDMORE.
So we're looking for that first 1 minute candle to make a new high and the curl back up towards 5.
Koya.
So there's 60, added at 63. Now let's see if we can get 65 and 70. So taking a loss on that, small loss. It's not pulling away. Only trades now are going to be dips off the lows because it's not giving me good breakouts.
Order partially filled.
So added down there
Order filled.
at 410.
Order partially filled.
5,000 shares.
Order filled.
Out at 419.
Order filled.
Still watching, but I don't want to overtrade the backside too much if it's not able to hold 4.
Alert for ZENA.
So you keep seeing these 10,000 share sellers, like that one that was there at 80. You see,
Alert for
now we're playing a little
ZENA.
bit of musical chairs. VIVS pops up and ELAB drops down even more. But I don't think I want to jump on this. I'm not seeing a clear catalyst yet. Let me just look. I'm just looking to see what the news is. Okay,
Order
not sure.
partially filled. Order
And
filled.
ELAB has pulled back too much at this point. I mean, this is just way too much.
Order
So, you know,
filled.
it's interesting because you've got breaking news. You've got a headline here. You know, it pops up, pulls away, and then it gives it all back. And so does VIVS. So now we're seeing this kind of like volatility of you're seeing the move, but it's not holding up. And for me, that's a major caution flag.
Order filled.
You know, BCTX, okay, like that one held up for a while, rolled over when ELAB popped up, but then as soon as something else pops up, ELAB drops, and then that next one drops immediately. So it's like you can see where we're going with this. This is not what we like to see. We want sustained momentum. We want to see that they've got a catalyst, they're squeezing, and they are holding the previous breakout levels, the previous resistance levels. Otherwise, it's just, you know, we're just going to get caught in a drop. BCTX may be our best hope for
Order
later.
filled.
There is more volume on it, but it'll have to get back above VWAP.
Order filled.
Alert for AREB.
Is VIVS a new ticker? I think that's why. I think this looks like it's a brand new ticker, which these ones can also be, for what it's worth, pretty volatile. Maybe it's an uplist or a symbol change.
That was a good dip. Should have held on for more, and I should have bought more size.
Xena, I'm leaving this alone. I'm using 10-cent offsets, both buying and then selling when I'm buying on the ask and selling on the bid. So, this week we've seen so much volatility. And I mean, that's the thing. We're seeing heightened volatility. We're seeing exaggerated moves. I mean, we started with Monday and Tuesday with 500, 600, 800% moves on a couple of stocks. So like that kind of set the tone for the week. Now, as we're coming towards the end of the week, yesterday was a little bit of a slower day for me. And now today, although I'm in good shape right now, I definitely have my caution flag out, and I'm thinking I should sit on my hands because of seeing the round trip, where even in spite of good news, it's being pushed back down. That seems weird. I just, that's throwing me off. I think one of the challenges with when the market gets hot, though, is that you'll have traders that jump on news headlines like a company regaining compliance with NASDAQ. And that's not usually a very substantial headline. So, to jump on that in a hot market, people might jump on it, but ultimately within a few hours, probably the stock will come back down because it's not the most substantial headline. The thing with biotech news is that it's hard for most traders to have the context of how good a biotech headline is, given that most of us are not in that industry. So when we see the headline and the stock starts moving, we draw the logical conclusion that the news must be good, right? I mean, otherwise the price wouldn't be going up. But some of that is amplified by the fact that the volatility is higher because there's just more, you've had recent stocks that have moved up, so people are quick to jump on the next one. And so what ends up happening is at a certain point, you kind of get the swing to the other side where traders realize, wait, buying every headline is no longer working. The market's cooling off a little bit. Some of these are rolling over completely, doing a round trip. I've got to take my foot off the gas. And when we take our foot off the gas, who gets more aggressive? Well, probably the opposite side, the short sellers who are shorting these pops and looking for the fade back down, which didn't work so well on Monday and Tuesday with stocks like UPXI that went up. Well, let's look at the chart on UPXI. I mean, this one, shorting the pop, this went from $2 to $22 a share. So you can see why there's heightened enthusiasm and momentum this week, and shorts have been a little more cautious. But I would almost say yesterday, given that it was a little bit of a slower day, maybe shorts regained a little confidence, and today are being a little more aggressive and seeing if they can, knock these back down. And now they've got a couple round trips under their belt. So now they've got a little cushion to give them more confidence. And I'm feeling even more conservative because of what I've just seen. So all of a sudden, the pendulum swings a little bit. And that's the ebb and the flow that we experience pretty much every day. I mean, well, that's part of trading, just on a weekly, monthly basis. I mean, what's the condition of the market today? So, that's kind of the thing of like when you're doing your pre-trading checklist, like where are you at today? Did you eat well? Did you sleep well? How have you been trading the last few days? Are you in the sim? Are you managing your risk in a safe way? What's your max position size? So those are all internal. And then externally, what is the condition of the overall market? Right? Are we in a
Zero.
really hot cycle? Is it less? Is there more conviction? Is there less conviction? And how should I position myself today given those external factors? I passed on Xena because I've traded it before. It's a good question. And although it does have news, it does have a history at this point of sort of these sell-offs, popping up and selling off. And so because I'm already familiar with this stock, I didn't feel that I needed to look too much more closely at it to know it wouldn't probably work well for me. The ABTE chart. So ABTE, yeah. So I pulled this up earlier, noted it was a 13 million share float. Could not identify fresh news on it, and for those reasons, said it's a no-go. Yeah, I would say generally speaking.
Alert for LRHC.
You're struggling with capping your winners, like you're selling too soon. So yeah. So a couple things. Number one, so well, just started thinking this through. So it's kind of the best way to. So I have two thoughts. The first is that as a beginner, one of the strategies that worked really well for me was taking the breakout trades, which is like first candle to make a new high, right? That simple breakout setup that worked really well for me. I'm kind of like I lean towards saying on that setup you have to take profit quickly, because when you're buying the first candle to make a new high and it rejects, it can be pretty violent. So if you get in and you're up 10, 15 cents, to me, I want to take a little profit off the table. If it keeps going higher, I take a little more off. If it ends up going up $1 a share, I feel like an idiot, right? Because it made this huge move. But on the other hand, I have to say, look, you're green. That's better than most traders out there. Be grateful for that. And maybe on the next one, instead of selling half, as soon as you're up 15 cents, sell a quarter. When you're in a hotter market, try to hold a little longer. But I do feel like breakout trading requires, if you want to have high accuracy, which most people want because it gives you more confidence, you're going to have to take profits quickly. Not selling the whole thing necessarily, but at least like selling half. So, and this is what I'm saying. And I kind of was wondering VIVS, because it's sort of a new stock, symbol change, if this was going to give us this sort of roller coaster. So actually, this says symbol not authorized at Lightspeed, so you can't even trade it right now. I was just looking to take a trade there, and that would have been a breakout trade, 100%. So I would have been in there at 98 and probably taking profit 13. 313, 316, 320. So this is why it's good to have your broker, handy. So I'm going to send them an email, service at Lightspeed service. I'm going to say VIVS not tradable. Help. I can't trade it. Says symbol not authorized. So I'll send that out, and let's just put the time on, and let's just see how long it takes for them to reply, because they usually get back pretty quickly. They're not letting you trade it on Schwab either. Same on Webull. So now there's a question of like, who's even trading this?
Order cancelled.
Who's even able to? I mean, obviously some people wouldn't be moving up, but this is the thing when stocks list, that you can get these quick sweeps to the upside, to the downside, and then you just have to be careful, because you get it going the wrong way, and it can be bad. So the first thing I was going to say is that those breakout trades do require you to be pretty quick. So I think that
Order
it's
filled.
Let's see how fast that dropped to 69. So that's why these do
Order
carry
filled.
more risk. So the breakout trades require you to be pretty quick. And the trades that I'm more comfortable buying and holding for a little bit is when I get a nice dip trade. So sometimes, like that dip earlier at 414
Alert for
on the Jumper
AREB.
E-Lab, I think it was.
Alert
I
for
ended up being able to
AREB.
hold that for a while because it was such a nice dip. It bounced up very quickly, and then I was in the driver's seat. So dip trades can allow longer holds, and sometimes they do curl back up. But that's dip trades are not the best strategy, I feel like, for beginners because they require a bit more intuition about level 2 support and resistance. Because level 2 is much more important for dip trading than it is for the breakouts. Not that it's not important for breakouts, but it's especially important for doing dip trades. So eventually being able to get some dip trades added to your repertoire would be good because then you've got another another strategy, and one that you might find gives you some nice profit loss ratios with bigger winners, at least in cents per share.
Yeah. I thought we were gonna get a bounce back up towards 4 there when I bought down here. And obviously today I'm learning that I still need to get much better at buying, breaking news. So I'm really good at the 5-minute break. Um, do obviously need to calm down with these, but it's no big deal. Like
Alert for AREB.
I'm not worried about it.
Alert for BON.
This thing is very thinly traded.
Alert for BON.
WTVA,
GRIANDMORE,
SIDU, SSTI,
Austie,
DSS,
BDMD, TNMG,
SURG,
alert for ZENA,
Easy to borrow becomes an issue. I mean, really, for the
FLUX,
unless the stock is up over 100%, easy to borrow for me is going to be an issue. So bottom of the hour here, 8:30, but I'm not planning really or feeling very confident. You know, VIVS, it did ramp back up, but then look, heavy volume selling, bringing it back down. So I just think that the caution flag has to be out at this point. I'm grateful that I've gotten some profit today before it got choppy, but now we're seeing it's just awfully choppy.
alert for ZENA,
HQI,
AMZE,
BLIN,
alert for BON,
SNTI.
Which one, SJ? I missed that. Oh, BCTX? Okay. BCTX. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So VIBS is now tradable on Lightspeed. Back.
Lobo.
so just sitting tight right now.
Yep. Not much. A bit tired, but here we are. Yeah, I didn't want to, but no, what did I do? Oh, yeah, I just went to the gym, got back from the gym at like 10:30, and I just played Monopoly until late. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. It's just super volatile. Like stuff will pop up, go 100%, and then do a complete reversal the moment something else pops up and does the same thing. So I got, I was up, like 20 something, and then something else popped up. I tried to trade it, and it just flushed so hard. So I went down 75 on that. So unfortunately, I'm in the red right now, but it's fine. I gotta I told myself in my video that I'm recording that I need to be like I'm really good at trading the 10-second pullback after a fresh 5-minute break, but on breaking news I'm still not the best. So gotta be more careful. Yeah, and even Ross is saying like it's really choppy because stuff is just it's not being sustained right now. I think we've had three different stocks go up 100%, and then they just like now the leading gapper is still BCTX, but it's only up 52%. There's been so many in play. VIVS, Xena, BCTX, ELAB, LGCB. Yeah, I think it was annoying because it's like I tried to catch a dip off the lower band. Yeah, and then it just kept going because something else was popping up. So at the time it was Xena was popping up, and that's what I got the flush on. So like I should have been more aware to just, I was already up on VCTX. I was already up on the day. I should have just not tried to chase, other stocks until there's a proper 5-minute setup. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So now I'm chilling, just waiting for a nice 5-minute setup. Get a nice trade, like, cause the other day I went down 87 and I brought it back all the way up to only down 25 just because I was patient. I waited for the right things. Yeah, I see Xena could do a ABCD pattern here on the 5-minute. Kind of waiting on that. VIVS is just not, nobody's trading it anymore. Yeah. Also, today was the only day I wanted to. Today was the first day I wanted to start trading with real money throughout the full day. Just still with smaller size, but um, of course the first day I do that, it's this kind of choppy, volatile stuff. It's unfortunate. I've been doing so well on the paper trading for the rest of the days, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I was trading with 30 share blocks on BCTX just because of how expensive and volatile it was. Yeah, but I was doing well on it. My first trade on it got in at 951, sold 20 shares at 1005, and then when it came back down, I sold the last 10 at 964. Then I was just in and out, like actively trading it.
I'm not aware that you can change
Yeah,
the
it
colors
was
on Thinkorswim.
massive. Mhm.
I don't know, Christian. I mean,
No, it's
possible,
literally
but
just
I
because
don't
something else started
really
popping up.
think so because it's just such a different market. I just don't know that there'd be the appetite to take that risk.
Yeah. That was a good pop. Great 10-second pullback there.
Order filled. Order filled.
Alert for ZENA.
Yeah, I got the heater on right next to me. Yeah, I got the blackout yesterday.
Alert for ZENA.
Ugh.
Alert for ZENA.
So BCTX Climbing back up. See what it does as it gets closer to the VWAP. Yeah, they're the same thing, just different visual way of looking at it. I mainly use the order entry window for buying, and I mainly use hotkeys. 99% hotkeys are for selling. But I do add to positions using hotkeys. And sometimes if a stock pops up really quickly, I don't have time to use my order entry window, and so I'm just using my hotkey to add. But I like the order entry window because it helps me control a little bit more how much slippage I'll have. So on the high day momentum scanner, I have audio alerts turned on for the low float scans and for the squeeze up 5% and 10%.
FEAM.
Damn, missed my entry there. VCTX dip to the 200. I don't trust it now, though. Should have bounced up higher. Yeah.
NXLANDMORE.
Yeah, I got the open
BMV.
half an hour.
ZENAANDMORE.
Okay, Xena finally is doing something. Xena.
EQ.
BETR. XTIA.
No, I needed a stronger sort of push higher. If it went to like 310, then because I was watching it for the ABCD pattern for the break of like 297, but it didn't really go much higher than that, so it's not.
Alert for LRHC.
Yeah, I want a
No,
stronger
I don't
push
have
through that
anything
level.
scheduled right now, but I'll keep you guys posted when I do get something scheduled.
Alert for AREB.
SDOT.
Alert for LRHC.
Yeah,
Alert for
I do
LRHC.
long-term investing, but I'm not managing it myself. I have a financial advisor that does it for me. I just, look, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I'm not going to try to time the market long term. That's just not my. That's not what I'm good at. So at this point, pretty much just sitting tight, 905, waiting to see if anything, can kind of get back in the hands of the bulls. Right now, it's feeling a little bearish.
See if this thing can break view up finally.
Gur.
Good. She was sleeping on the bed. Yeah. Come on, that's an illegal question.
So this
Alright, let's see if we can get a bigger view up here.
BCTX. So, because you had that little false breakout right there. So now as you come up to the 200, to the VWAP, I'm curious to see, what it's able to do.
The orange one. Yeah.
Yep, 10,000 share seller at 925. VWAP is at 930. Another seller there at 919. So right here, we're coming into some resistance in the way of these sellers.
NRSN.
Alert for ZENA. Alert for LRHC.
What the hell?
So BCTX is still hanging out here. Dipped below 9, came back up. Still has some sellers at right around the VWAP, which is 930.
Okay. Yeah. Bro, who the hell is trading NAOV? It has 26,000 share on the day. Like, what? I just don't understand. Like, who? It must be just algorithms, bro, just causing spikes. I don't think so, but you could Google it.
CTRI.
Some nerd is bound to figure that out. Alright, there we go. This is the pop that I want. I'm gonna break their view up here
Start
now.
over there on BCTX for the breakthrough VWAP. Adding at 35.
Alert for
Squeeze on those up
BCTX.
through 45 and 50. So there's 45. Looking for the break through the $0.50. Very, like, a lots of liquidity on this. No problem buying and selling large positions. High volume there. Watching this dip.
Alert for
Order
ZENA.
partially filled.
Added
Order
right
filled.
there for the break through the $0.50. Now looking for the pop over 950. Let's see if we can break through 950.
Order cancelled.
There's 55.
Order
Good,
filled.
getting a little profit up there. Dip at 42. Half out at 45.
Order filled.
So I guess I would say a couple things. Number one, so holding 2,300 shares now. It started to pop up, so I added there for the break of VWAP. We've now got a high of 959, and I'm watching this area on the first 1 minute pullback for the next trade. It does seem pretty thickly traded here. So watching this dip. So back out for right now. I'm gonna
Alert
let it
for AREB.
consolidate here for a second. $600,000 shares of volume in that candle just about. So volume is increasing as we're back up to volume weighted average price.
Order cancelled. Order filled.
So the high of this move was 59. So first 1 minute candle to make a new high coming up here.
Yep, hold on. I'm trading
Added
BCTX.
there. Now looking for the squeeze through 65 and 70. So there's 60,
Order filled.
63, catching a little profit up there, holding 7,000 shares, dip at 49, little chop, back out, small winner. It was first 1 minute candle to make a new high, which is a good setup. And actually, this is what we were talking about earlier. If I hadn't been quick to take profit there, that could have turned into a loser, right? But I was quick to take profit knowing I was getting in at a breakout spot, a little bit more risk. So it was only a small winner, but
NOAH.
Order filled.
Hello?
So unfortunately, though, this is now a rejection candle, false breakout, right? So
Join
it
what?
pops up, rejects. The problem is no one wants to buy after a big rejection candle like that.
Alert for LRHC. Alert for LRHC.
Yep.
No, I was just watching the level 2, and when I saw it coming up to this high back here, I jumped in. Just as I saw it coming up there, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a starter on this. I just thought there was a good chance of it breaking VWAP. And I was hoping, that we would get a move back up towards like 10. That would have been really nice. But okay.
Alert for LRHC.
We've had some really big moves. UPXI, granted, it's only up 69%, or BCTX only 69% now, but it did. Let's see, on this candle, peaked at 127%. So that's pretty solid. But yeah, UPXI the other day, and then TIBC. I mean, we've had just back-to-back big moves.
Alert for BCTX. Alert for LRHC.
BKKT.
Alert for BCTX.
Yo. Yo.
EPOW.
Alert for LRHC. Alert for BCTX. Alert for LRHC.
Order filled.
Alert for LRHC.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order filled.
So about a minute to the
Order
opening bell.
filled.
So pretty much sitting tight here as we're coming into the open.
Alert for LRHC.
Leading gapper BCTX up 70%. It's the one I've made the most on. Pretty much squeezed right to the 200 moving average before pulling back. So I don't know. We'll see how it does.
Alert for BCTX. Alert for BCTX. Alert for CEP.
KSCP AIXI.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order cancelled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
Alert for AREB. Alert for LRHC.
guys with that pop and drop. So I've been trading a bit less, but I'm trading bigger size on the trades I do take. And that's made, I think, a pretty big difference this week.
Alert for AREB.
Order filled.
Alert for LRHC.
Order filled. Order filled.
Alright, YouTube. Today was not a good day. Obviously, down
My tip on being
110.
patient, but also being able to strike
And
is
it's
knowing what I
unfortunate
want.
because
So one of the, I mean,
the
it's the
one
5
day
points
that
probably,
I
but
decided I'm
important
gonna
in different ways.
use real
So
money for
price.
the entire day
Price, you
is
tell
the
me it's
one
too
day
cheap,
that I
I just
don't
know I can't make good money on it. And
finish
if you
green
tell me it's too expensive,
because
the
it was
risk is
just
gonna be too high.
so hard. It's just
So I don't feel like I'm taking a lot of
different
risk with cheaper ones,
stocks
but I don't feel like there's a ton of
popping up.
upside potential. So the
And
expensive
so
ones, they have upside potential, but they have a lot
I'll
of
be back
downside risk
tomorrow,
that they can
and
block
I'm
out,
going
flush,
to
big time. So the price really
be
has
better,
to be kind of ideal.
and I'm going to be more careful. I know what I did wrong today, so I'm not worried about it. I was trading breaking news, and I'm not the best at that yet still, so I am going to focus solely on what I'm good at and what I'm making money at, which is buying dips and also buying the micro pullbacks off of a fresh 5-minute break. So yeah. Yeah, sorry that it's a red day, but, I know what went wrong, and I'll fix it tomorrow and going forward, so thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.